Happy Saturday, everybody. You know, I've been going brim fishing every weekend and making a video. Today was going to be 70 to 80% chance of rain, and it has rained already today. I decided I was going to make sausage today instead. I still got several pounds of cut up pork from those wild hogs that I killed at the hunting camp last year, and so I need to turn those into sausage before hunting season starts up here again in a couple of months. So I wanted to get that out of the way. So today we are making jalapeno cheddar smoked wild hog sausage. You know, the recipe that I'm using is kind of a conglomeration from a couple of different places, and you can look on YouTube and find some really good recipes for this. One is from Chud's Barbecue. Look them up. Chud's, the guy's pretty funny, and he has some great sausage recipes. And the other is Two Guys in a Cooler. They have some excellent recipes too, so I sort of melded theirs. Anyway, combining those two recipes is what I've come up with for mine today. The first thing I need to do is figure out how much fat I need to add to the meat. I've got this bag of pretty much lean meat, and then I've got some scraps and mostly fat in that other bag, although there is some lean in that, so I'll have to take that into account. So I've got to figure that out. The calculations are easy enough to do, but I set up a spreadsheet to do this. Hopefully you can see this on here, but this side over here is calculations for the different ingredients, and we'll get to those in a minute. I can also just put in the amount of lean meat that I've got and the fat desired. I'm gonna make 30%. I was just playing around with it yesterday, and it'll tell me how much fat to add in pounds. You see also I've got the ingredients that I'm going to use in today's sausage. So the first thing is to get my meat to fat ratio right, and then I can calculate my total amount of ingredients. Now, what are we going to use to make this sausage? Of course, as it implies, jalapeno and cheddar cheese. I'm going to use seasoning pack from Walton's for jalapeno pork sausage seasoning, and that is added at a rate of 0.44 ounces per pound of meat. So we got to figure that out. How much we'll have to add depends on how much total meat we've got. Also be adding cheese at a rate of 2 ounces per pound of meat. I anticipate I'm gonna need a couple pounds, maybe not all of 2 pounds, but it probably should be pretty close. Milk powder or binder, this comes from the sausage maker. Cheese is high temperature cheese, since we're gonna be smoking it, cold smoking tomorrow. Also be adding some heavy cream, just plain old heavy cream that you can get from the grocery store. And then lastly, but probably most important, I'll be adding some curing salt. I call it Instacure, Cure #1, or pink salt. That's normally what I call it. We'll be adding that because I'll be cold smoking. I'm not going to take the sausage tomorrow and the smoker up to about 150, and it'll be a slow rise, and you don't want to take a chance of spoiling the meat or botulism while you're going at that low temperature. So the Instacure or the pink salt will take care of that when added at the correct rate, and we'll do that. So I think I've covered everything I'm going to do. Parts for the grinder, the head and the screw and so forth are in the freezer downstairs, and so when we get ready to grind, we'll do that. I'm also, once I get the correct ratio of the meat loaded off in this lug, I will take it back downstairs and put it in the freezer for about 30-45 minutes before I grind it. Make it a whole lot easier to grind. Then when we get to the stage where we start add our seasonings and our cure and so forth, I'll be using this meat mixer, and it'll handle up to 25 pounds of meat, so I don't think we won't exceed that today. We might get up to around 20 though. And then finally, be using the stuffer, of course, to put it into casings so I can smoke it tomorrow. I've got some casings over here soaking as well. So I think I got everything covered. If not, make a comment down there if I've forgotten something. We should be ready to go. Anybody wants to know the ratios on the ingredients and so forth that I used, I'll be happy to help you out with that. Anyway, let's make some wild hog pork sausage. Let me get going. All right, folks, try two. 2 weeks ago, I started this video, and I guess I wasn't paying attention when I got ready to grind the meat. Apparently, I had put the knife in backwards. This right here is what happens when you put the knife in backwards. I guess that's what I did. I've ground a ton of meat with this grinder, and never had a problem. Guess it was just a brain fart. I had to order new knives, and so I had to put off my sausage making for a couple of weeks. Had to take everything down, had to refreeze the meat. Here we are, ready to go again. I'll get back with you when it's time. I'll just show you a little bit of grinding the meat. Y'all all know what that looks like, but we'll fire up the cameras. All right, everything's good and cold. The grinder head was frozen and so forth. So it's grinding real nice. All right, folks, I got all the meat ground. I put it back down in the freezer downstairs. So the next step is to weigh out my ingredients. I've already told you what I had. I think I forgot to tell you that I'm gonna add some dried jalapeños, dehydrated jalapeños to the mix as well. So let me just go through the ingredients again. The jalapeno seasoning, I got 20 pounds of meat. So my calculations call for 8.8 ounces of the jalapeno seasoning from Walton's. The next thing is the cheese. I should also mention, I'm gonna fry up a little piece of sausage after I mix in the jalapeno seasoning from Walton's, just to see how spicy it is or salty it is also. I like things spicy. If it's not too spicy, I might just go ahead and add all of it here. This is for 25 pounds. I've got 20 pounds of meat, so we'll see. Jalapenos, I need to add 2.4 ounces. Again, if it's not that spicy, I might add 3 ounces. Milk powder for binder. My calculations show that I need to add 8 ounces of that. I had mentioned I'm gonna use heavy cream, so it's just whipping cream that you can buy from the grocery store. My calculations show that I need to add 26.4 ounces of heavy cream. And I'm gonna add that when I start mixing it in my meat mixer. Actually, all these ingredients as I mix, but I'm not gonna mix the dry ingredients in with that. And lastly is the pink salt. My calculations show that I need 0.9 ounces. We might just go ahead and put a whole ounce in it just to make sure. I definitely don't want to take a chance of botulism for this. I plan on weighing it out, putting it in a glass, and putting a little bit of water in it so I get a better distribution when I start mixing it. The dry ingredients I'm gonna put in this jar, put a lid on top of it, and shake it up, and then I'll meter those in as I mix the meat. When I come back after I've weighed these out and I feel like the meat's cold enough, it's down in the freezer, we'll get to mixing the meat, and then after that we'll be going to the stuffing operation. This is an all day. All right, so I went and got the meat. Beautiful. I forgot to mention, I guess, that I just put it through a medium plate one time. I want a little bit coarser sausage, so we're gonna load it into the mixer, and then we'll add our. All right, so I got the meat loaded into the mixer. My dry ingredients, the milk powder and the jalapeno seasoning mixed together from Walton's. The dried jalapenos, pink salt dissolved in water. I'm not gonna add the cheese until last. I'm gonna fry me a little patty to make sure the seasoning's right. If it's not, spicy enough for me, I'm gonna add the rest of that bag of Walton stuff. I'm probably gonna end up adding that. So the cheese will go last after I'm satisfied. First thing I'm gonna do is put the pink salt in, start mixing this. I wanna make sure that pink salt is good and mixed in so it cures overnight in the fridge. All right, this meat is mixing up good. Of course, we got to get it to where we have protein extraction, where this stuff sticks together good. All right, let me put some seasoning in here and the milk powder. I've also forgot I got to add some cream too, so that might help me a little bit with the mixing. I had used a little bit of this for my coffee. It's only down about right there, and I did weigh it. It's close to whatever I said a few minutes ago on how much I need to add, so we're just going to go ahead and add the heavy cream. Get that started mixing in. That's going to act as a binder, to give us some stickiness. It's also going to add some creaminess to the sausage. All right, let me start add some seasonings, jalapeno seasoning and milk powder. That's about half of it. Go ahead and mix that in. Let me put about half these jalapenos in here too. Mix a little bit and come back with the rest of it. All right, y'all get the idea. I'll get back with you when I come back and add the cheese in the last step, and then from there we'll put it in some cakes. All right, I made me a patty decided I'd go ahead and add that little bit of extra seasoning I had in. I mean, it was pretty spicy, but still, I don't think that little bit I had left, and chances of me using that rest of that little bit of seasoning on something else is minimal. So we got seasoning for 25 pounds and 20 pounds of meat, but we're about to add 2 pounds of cheese, cheddar cheese, high temperature cheese. So after I get that mixed in, I'm gonna take this meat mixer, the whole thing, go down, put it in the freezer, and then clean up stuff around, get ready to stuff this sausage. All right, it's time to get ready to stuff this sausage. Meat's been down in the freezer, in the mixer. I'm gonna dump it off into a lug so it'll be a little bit easier to handle. Alright, it came out with the mixing apparatus and all, and I'll dig that out in just a minute. Alright, let me dig out that mixer, clean it off, don't waste any meat. Load the stuffer here in a bit and start casing up some sausage. Looks like the cheese and the jalapeno peppers are well mixed into it, and we've got, you know, real tacky mix, holds together good. So anyway, ready to go in the casing. My wife tasted a bit of I fried up another patty and let her taste it, and she said she's definitely in favor of it. So it'll be even better after I cold smoke it tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Meat's really cold. One thing about these operations is you end up using a lot of these gloves, these nitrile gloves, but anyway, that's part of it. So I need to put the hopper onto the stuffer, get my tube, get my casing threaded on, then we'll load the stuffer and be ready to go. All right, so we're gonna load up the hopper with the meat. Just gonna prick the end of this so the air will run out. That should do it. All right, load it up. We'll get rolling here. Get done putting them in casings and put them down in the fridge overnight. Give the cure time to work. Pack this sausage in pretty good so we don't have any air spaces. We minimize the air spaces anyway. Hopper's full. Put this down in low gear. Trick is to fill it up without having a blowout. You get the idea. All right, well, I'm through putting them in casings. I made pretty big lengths, 7-inch lengths. I'm gonna go put these in the fridge downstairs so the cure will work overnight. Put them on the smoker in the morning, cold smoker. All right, so the casings have dried out, and I'm gonna start putting some smoke on it. I've got a mixture of cherry wood, and I've got some alder pellets too. Put them on the smoke a couple hours and see what happens. And start the temperature off and leave it where it is right now. Just close the door and see what that takes me up to. I haven't got the temperature probe inserted in a sausage. I've got it just reading the air temperature inside right now. It takes it up to about 150 air temperature. We'll let that go for a while. Here we go. Start putting some smoke on it. All right, it is time to take it out of the smoker and put it in an ice bath. Stop the cooking. Whoa, look pretty. I'll probably put another bag of ice on top of these. They'll cool down, and the next step is just to vacuum seal them or cook them whenever I feel like it. All right, folks. These are all, I've been in the ice bath, and I'm telling you, they came out beautiful. They're smoked to between 145, 150 internal. Really great looking sausage. Gonna enjoy these. I'm gonna let them sit in the fridge overnight to dry up. You know, they're already dry, but you know, just make sure these knots are dry before I cut them apart. We'll vacuum seal them. I'll leave out a couple and throw on the grill tomorrow, and I'll show you that, and we'll do a taste test. But pretty happy about how these turned out. Happiness is a cart full of vacuum sealed Wild Hog jalapeño-cheddar sausage. 24 2-link packs, plus I've got some I'm going to throw on the grill today I left out. So pretty good haul. On to the grill. All right, let's get this going. Shouldn't take long. I usually do to get a medium steak, go 7 minutes on the side. This is gonna cook a lot faster than a steak, probably. All right, everybody, just got back in from the grill. Fixing to do a little taste test. I probably cooked these a little bit too long, but anyway, let's see what they look like. Get a small one here. Cut it. Oh yeah, plenty of cheese. You see some jalapenos in there. That is looking good. It's paint from the curing salt. It's all smoky smelling. Anyway. That's really good. Really like that. That's gonna be good on the bun with some sauerkraut mustard, or just by itself. Either way. Happy Labor Day, everybody. Let's make wild hogs great again. Hooty hoo.